Okay. Are we live? Maybe? Yes. Yeah. Okay, audio's coming through, so we're good to go. For Hogwarts Legacy, episode 75, if I remember correctly. Yep, 75, Gryffindor House. Last time we talked to Poppy, helped Sebastian, found a piece of the canvas for the triptych, and then I went off screen to do some stuff, and I think I did pretty well. I definitely cleared the map a bit. I mean, I got rid of quite a few Merlin trials and a couple hotspots for ancient magic. I'm not finished, but I cleared quite a few of them. I also found a weird quest, which I didn't try and do because I wanted to do it off screen, maybe. On screen, I mean. So there's still some that I need to do, mostly in the Feldcroft region. And, of course, in the South Coast area, but I like to say I got, like, all the way down to, like, Cambridge done. Like, this is what I didn't do when I left off. But while I was doing that, I got 2 owls. One from Poppy and one from Natty. I also got one from Albie Weeks. But I don't know if I got that on screen. So I got one from Natty. And I got one from Poppy. So I don't think I did enough to trigger the challenges. I definitely made some good progress towards them though. Or maybe I did, maybe I did. I did a couple constellations as well. But that should help us out. So we're going to start by going over here. And let's talk to Poppy.
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
Is this where we're meeting the Centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise, I suppose.
I'm not sure about this. I can't imagine they're fond of being surprised.
We don't have a choice if we want to help the Snidgets. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
I suppose they are known for having an air of omniscience.
That's exactly the right word. Never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
That's right. We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. We'll meet with them, tell them about the Snidgets, and I'm sure it'll all be fun.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah! I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never! We're here because we need your help.
Enough! You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continue to slaughter beasts like us without a care!
From what I can see, they have slaughtered no one. They will leave here unharmed.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all 3 of your heads.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden
I...
Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
I don't understand. So the moonlight mentioned in the journal referred to actual moonlight, but to a to do with Snidgets. And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
Isn't Moonstone all around us? Why retrieve one from a cave?
Knowing Centaurs, I suspect he's referring to a specific moonstone. We'll likely know it when we see it.
I don't know, but I am inclined to believe him, what with his being a centaur and all.
I am too. It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name? Doran.
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather act now and ask questions later. I can head to the library and start looking into the cave he mentioned. I'll let you know what I find.
Here's one of those tables Professor Shah mentioned.
How the hell did I miss that astronomy table? Okay. Now let's go and help Natty. This is the nearest one. Centaurs like humans that like animals, but with the amount of poachers in the area, they're kind of losing faith. And to be honest, I don't blame them. I would be getting pretty annoyed at the amount of poachers too. Hogwarts doesn't really enforce its get back to the castle curfew, does it?
Better days?
I mean, we're out here at what hour of night? Along with quite a few other students. Doesn't enforce its get back to your common room curfew either. Okay. What is dawn? So let's give Natty a chance to show up. Okay, that's cool. I can take screenshots while on stream. That is helpful. How do I raise and lower this camera? Aha! Might as well have a bit of fun. Bless me.
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
Very well. I'll speak with them. See what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Okay.
I will say that I was relieved to have that energy.
Pushing a plough is good, honest work, but I shall leave it to the muggle.
We're definitely approaching Christmas time. Well, England is a Christian country after all, so... Like, the only thing this village needs is a good church. And maybe a library. I mean, the Three Broomsticks is a pub and cafe and restaurant, so it's got that. So what it really needs is a library, a primary school to help the younger witches and wizards, maybe a church. And a library. But I don't think witches and wizards really focus on primary school. I mean, that's regulated in the Muggle community.
I don't know about Centaurs, but there hasn't been a dragon in history worth losing a hair over.
Not a day goes by that we shall pay better attention in defense against the dark arts.
It is wonderful to see you back here.
But I mean, a muggle-born witch could do the primary school. And work with the ministry to help make sure that witches and wizards who attend muggle primary schools don't give it away.
Top of my class all through my years at Hogwarts.
Oh, someone's drank pepper up potion.
Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic, what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
If you had spoken out against him as Mr. Bickle asked, perhaps Harlow would be locked away by now.
Perhaps. But perhaps I would have suffered a similar fate.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
Now to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends. Revelio. Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there.
Please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I would like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, well, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it up for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note that might help me to identify it should I come across it?
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where was I?
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
That young Otto Dibble at Gladrags does...
Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No. I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
If it weren't for the cost of things these days, I'd be able to take a holiday somewhere.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty.
Sleeping draft in our butterbeer if we didn't behave. Well, so I guess she took it herself,
Just because you know toadstool tails always make me wretched.
to work with you.
You better wait to see my farm's fun, but not when you've just had your hair done by somebody.
If it weren't for the cost of things these days, I'd be able to take a holiday somewhere.
Expelliarmus can disarm a dark wizard, no doubt. But then...
Christmas? Well, in my view, there's no way we can... Hogsmeade always charges. It's Christmas.
House elves and Whistlekine's the best.
It's not like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there.
go to Azkaban never had a chance in the first place.
Never knows how slovenly another's family may be. Mind where you put your hands when you visit Dogwood and Dash Out. I was in there the other day, nearly lost the dark arts. The world needs power.
Likely it was made with some sort of inferior material.
Not from our land, as we call.
What did you think would happen?
I was relieved to have our family out of that.
I can't quite picture what the statue looked like before, but something's different.
Work hard and don't be afraid to fail. That is the path of good.
Natty must be around here somewhere.
I suspect you're planning to enchant your theories to avoid...
Revelio!
Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken. Revelio.
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. The hidden door.
Revelio.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly.
People don't want me to steal them.
Revelio. I'd better be sure I'm not seen.
It's not really work.
It's mine.
Using that girl as bait, Andrew's coming for her.
What?
Just kill her.
Harlow says her friend has been reckless enough. He wants them alive.
Only a Hogwarts student would be arrogant enough to come in here alone.
Just keep an eye out.
It's always a pleasant surprise. It's exhausting.
Revelio.
Man.
book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back. Lumos.
Rebellion.
Lumos. Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it. Lumos. Natty must be here somewhere. Mr. Rabe? Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
She spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Use mine. We'll find yours together once you're out of there.
I need my wand for this. Using one with which I have no connection may not work as well or as quickly, and we cannot risk detection.
I shall do my best. Any idea where it might be?
It's nearby. I can sense it.
Understood. I'll find it.
Your friend Natty was not able to summon my wand. It must be blocked by something.
Rebellion.
Mr. Abe's wand could be in there. Mr. Abe's wand must be nearby if he can sense it from his cell. Mr. Abe's wand! He'll be glad to have this back. Mr. Abe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken. Thank you, Mr. Isco. My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try. You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own. Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends. Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay.
Lumos.
Lumos. Let's find Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow once and for all.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife. Miss Onai, your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
With all due respect, officer, the authorities haven't done much about any of this.
There's more to taking down an organization like the Ashwinders than simply storming in and hauling them off based on a few accusations. I must insist that you leave them to us. We shall have no further discussion on this. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like We shall speak soon.
One day, here you are, a true patron of the arts.
Crucio is my favorite unforgivable.
Okay, we got that out of the way. Let's go and visit Mr. Weeks.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
You are the talk of the school since you saved Mr. Rabe and I from the Ashwinders. We have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
Mr. Filbert, I have your book.
But how did you... Oh, thank you. I can't tell you what this means to me.
You ought to be more cautious in the future. Men like Rookwood and Harlow could do much worse than stealing a book.
Oh, I've learned a lesson indeed about dealing with those sorts of monsters. Best not to upset them, isn't it? Oh my. I cannot believe I have this bit of my dearest Dulcibella back. Thank you, my young friend. Thank you.
What will I do without her? Hengist of Woodcock certainly.
Hello again. Wonderful to see you. As before, I've arranged a special price on the broom upgrade for you. Nice doing business with you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
That's a bit more expensive than I was anticipating.
I have been meaning to speak with you.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
I don't blame her for being concerned. We have been involved in some dangerous activities.
As the Ashwinders were locking me up and threatening my life, it did occur to me that my mother may have been right.
Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
Oh my, that is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry, as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
What does your mother think about all of this?
Well, as you saw, she worries a great deal. She is an excellent seer, but I think it bothers her to this day that she did not see my father's death coming. She misses him, as do I. So I believe on some level she understands my need to seek justice in a small way. But that does not mean that she likes it.
Do you think taking down the Ashwinders will avenge your father's death?
No. Vengeance is not what drives me. My father would not want that. He and my mother raised me to believe that it is a privilege to be able to fight for those who cannot. I know there is risk involved, but I feel it is worth it. I am glad you seem to think so too.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was. Truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed. Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
Right now, I need money if I'm going to buy that upgrade.
Dick thinks you should be proud of all the potions you've brewed.
I'm definitely not finished with the Merlin trial, so I definitely need to keep a stock of Mallow Sweet.
Revelio.
Okay. We got some extra wall art. Let's have a look. See what else we can do. And I need to stop yawning. Okay, let's have a look. Quests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Come on, Ariel, wake up. Let's talk to Headmistress Fitzgerald.
Welcome back.
Hello, Professor. I have news. The goblins are looking for something. Another repository. They've built drills to help with their search.
Most troubling.
Are these repositories like the broken container I found at Rookwood Castle?
They are. I fear we have no time to lose. Have a look at the map. Fortunately, the next trial is fairly nearby.
It's Hogwarts.
As you know, I was headmistress in my time. My portrait hangs in the headmaster's office. In fact, I witnessed Professor Black learn of your arrival. And I'll confess that I wondered about you.
Wait, is the next trial in the headmaster's office?
It is. I had hoped that when the time came, the occupant of that office would be of help to us. Unfortunately, this headmaster seems wildly unconcerned with anything but himself. You'll need to access the office while he's away.
I understand. Very well. We'll find some way to get in.
Good. I shall meet you in my portrait there. Until then.
Hi.
How will I gain access to the headmaster's office? Perhaps Professor Fig will know what to do.
Let's go and talk to Professor Fig then. I think that's about the only time we talked to him when that he's not in the map chamber since we discovered it.
I hope I look... Professor Fig, the Keepers have shown me where the next trial is.
Has something changed?
Lodgok and I have learned that the goblins are searching for another repository, like the one we saw at Rookwood Castle. And I discovered that they're building massive drills to help... Gerald seemed very concerned.
I see. Ranrock clearly knows even more than we suspected.
And sir, there's something else. Lodgok knew Miriam.
He knew Miriam?
They encountered each other at Rookwood Castle. She was doing research. That's where she found the container with the port key. He liked her so much that he let her leave with it, despite orders from Ranrock.
I don't know what to say. She could win over almost anyone. I want to hear more of this. And, in fact, I'd like to speak with Lodgok directly. But we've no time now. Where is the next trial?
Believe it or not, it's in the headmaster's office.
Incredible. Very well. You'll need the password to get past the stone gargoyle. The headmaster's house elf will know it.
I don't know the headmaster's house elf. Will he even speak to me? I imagine he's loyal to the headmaster.
He is. So you'll need a disguise. I have just the thing. A polyjuice potion. You'll look and sound like Professor Black.
Wait. Doesn't polyjuice potion require a bit of the person you want to change into? And take ages to brew?
It does.
So how do you already have polyjuice potion to change into Professor Black?
One never knows when such a thing may come in handy. Let's just say I felt the need to be prepared for anything after my fruitless trip to the Ministry on his behalf. Now, time is of the essence. Drink up and I shall explain more. How do you feel?
Incredible. I won't forget that taste anytime soon. How do I sound?
Convincing. I've taken the liberty of transfiguring your robes. As we discussed, you'll need the password from Scrope, who could be anywhere in the castle. You might look for Professor Kagawa. She's taken to badgering the poor elf about Quidditch in the hopes that he can convince Black to change his mind. Thus far, unsuccessfully.
I see. But what if Professor Black sees me?
Leave him to me. I shall tell him where to meet a liaison from the Ministry in Hogsmeade. That should give you plenty of time.
Thank you, Professor. I suppose we'll meet again in the map chamber.
It's rather strange to hear gratitude coming from Professor Black. I'll see you there.
Now to find the headmaster's house elf.
Professor, a moment of your time, please. Professor, I was hoping to catch you.
Places to be, Professor Sharp. Places to be.
Of course, sir. Only... you'd asked me about a particular potion, and well,
I did? I did, yes. Well, spit it out, Sharp. I don't have all day.
Probably best not to discuss it here, sir.
I assure you, Sharp, you may speak freely.
Very well. I've brewed the cure for boils you wanted. I can drop it by your office when it's convenient.
Of course, yes. No need for all the cloak and dagger. Simply have a student deliver it.
A student. Very well, sir, if you insist.
I do. And thank you, Sharp. I just hope you've brewed enough for all my boils.
Now, to determine which student gets this rather unenviable task.
Stand proud, purebloods. The future is yours. I haven't time for any of you at the moment. None. None at all. Move aside.
This quest always makes me laugh. Our nice character is trying to be mean as Professor Black. Which is why I've muted. Let me get back to the quest.
What could the headmaster want?
Gareth! Mr. Weasley! What are you doing here? Don't you have, somewhere to be?
Oh, Professor! Yes, of course! All sorts of places I'd rather be right now. Do you need something from me?
I'm looking for my house elf. Surely you've seen him?
Ah, the little one-eared fellow. I saw him heading to the Great Hall moments ago. Muttering on about your, sterling graces, sir.
I am watching you, Mr. Weasley. Mr. Redding, who owns Honeydukes, tells me some of his billywig stings recently went missing. Prime potion ingredient. And I know you fancy yourself a skilled potioneer.
What? But, sir, I haven't been anywhere near Honeydukes.
Bah! That's enough from you. Just know that I have eyes and ears everywhere. On your way, Mr. Weasley.
It's alright, word will spread about my channel, eventually. I just gotta wait for that word to get out and hope that people like the content I put out. Until then, all I can do is keep putting out content and try to improve my commentary, because I know that's lackluster. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.
Well, there's one for my diary.
I wonder almost daily why I accepted this appointment from the Ministry.
Headmaster? Here, what could he want?
Mr. Gaunt! Where do you think you're going?
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm simply on my way outside.
Taking the day off, eh? Typical student, wasting the hours away.
I have to write 20 inches on Dittany and its uses was heading to the greenhouse.
Ah, yes! Mixed with bubo tuber pus makes a fine mustache paste. Yes, mustache paste. I find.
Are you feeling all right, sir? You don't seem yourself.
I assure you I am quite healthy, Gaunt. If I need a medical diagnosis, I shall head to St. Mungo's.
Something is very wrong with Professor Black. Dittany and Pooba pus. Moustache paste.
When I witness what passes for magic in these halls, I simply mourn for the future of the wizarding world.
Professor, a word? I should like to speak with you, Professor. Professor Black, again, it is not too late to reconsider your decision regarding Quidditch. We could still have trials and a somewhat shortened season. It would be better than none at all.
But the injury, Madam Kogawa.
Professor, more than one student has taken a bludger to the head on our pitch. I dare say it knocked some sense into them. And they're fine now. The fact that it happened to be a pureblood, well, that's no reason to...
What nonsense! That you would trivialize the health of a student over a silly game.
A silly game? You are quite impossible sometimes. Sir, I've a good mind to write to the Department of Magical Games and Sports at the Ministry about you.
I should think you'd have better things to do with your time. Now, where's my elf?
Good day, Professor. And I spotted Scrope in the Great Hall. Seems to be avoiding me.
I wonder why. Good day, Madam Kogawa.
What did we do to deserve him as a headmaster?
Greetings! I mean, out of my way, children.
Ronan what he'd recommend for a billywig sting, and he laughed and said, "Try not to be seen." I don't find that.
I'm not actually a Gryffindor, but I'm doing all 4 houses to show the differences in conversations and gameplay. So, this is how Gryffindor gameplay would be. I will reveal which house I am actually in when I start the final house of the game.
I never thought I'd actually enjoy Hogwarts.
Miss Broom, a word.
Oh, Professor, this is an interesting surprise. It's Bloom, by the way.
Remind me of your area of affinity, Broom. OWLs are swift approaching.
Charms, sir. Non-verbal spells. Might work on one that makes me disappear.
Well, keep at it, Broom. And before you know it, you'll be as invisible as that new 5th year seems to be.
They're not invisible, sir. I've seen them near the library. In fact, they help me with my, heavy books.
Speaking of invisible, where's my blasted house elf?
Something seems a little off with the headmaster.
You call that a shine on those boots? Do better!
Professor, a word, please. Hello, Professor Black.
Ah, Professor Weasley. How delightful to see you.
Sir?
Since I have you here, I wonder if I might, speak with you about Professor Fig.
Oh. Very well.
I've decided to give him a bit more, leeway with his time.
Leeway, Professor? Are you sure that's wise? I confess I do worry for his students. He's rarely here as it is.
Ah, well, yes. He's handling some official ministry business for me.
I see. But, sir, if I may, I am wary of how much time the new fifth year seems to be spending away from the castle, supposedly on Professor Fig's behalf. I've heard unsettling rumors of their escapades. Everything from sneaking into the Forbidden Forest to confronting Ranrock's loyalists and Rookwood's lot.
What? Goodness. You cannot believe everything you hear, Professor. No, you cannot. I mean, I shall keep an eye on Fig. You simply keep doing the wonderful job that you're doing. Simply wonderful.
Thank you. But I'm happy to look into...
Good. That'll be all, Weasley. I mean, Professor Weasley. Good day.
A wonderful job. Leeway for Professor Fig. I shall never understand that man.
That ought to give Professor Fig some breathing room.
Scrope's as hard a worker as any himself.
Scrope!
Oh, greetings, Master.
Remind me of the password to my office.
Oh, but Master made Scrope swear never to tell anyone, even Master himself.
And now I'm telling you that you can tell me.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Scrope begs forgiveness. It is the Black family motto, Master.
Right. Of course.
Master does remember it.
It's purebloods forever, isn't it?
Close, Master. Scrope thinks Master is indeed testing Scrope. It is always pure.
Obviously.
And, of course, as Master knows, in French.
Yes, of course. I order you to pronounce it for me.
Oh, but Master knows that Scrope's French is most pitiful. Oh, very well. Toujours pur.
Ha! Thank you. Never speak of this conversation with me or anyone else.
Of course, sir. Scrope shall try his best to keep out of Master's way.
The polyjuice potion's wearing off. I best get out of sight. Made it just in time. It's wearing off.
Fig was right. I can't believe it worked. Now, to speak the password to the gargoyle.
I am 27 years old, and I know I don't sound it. I have been mistaken for a 16-year-old on my appearance as well. That will come in handy when I'm like 40. I was in a blooming story thing, and that quest always makes me laugh, and when you're in a conversation and you are resisting laughing, it's better to mute. That, and I don't have much that's interesting to talk about.
What are you up to now?
Okay, thankfully I've explored a good chunk of this castle. Trophy room is the closest flue flame. What's skibdi even mean? I'm reading the chat off my phone. So this is the Gryffindor version of me. In previous episodes I have done the Slytherin and Hufflepuff variants. My hair is actually a lot longer though. To the point where I often shove it back in a ponytail. Hogwarts Legacy, it's in the title. Here it is. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy, episode 75, Gryffindor House. I'll admit, it's definitely a lot easier to talk more when I have people to talk to. I want to know what that thing represents. Wrong door.
The gargoyle. That's where I need to speak the password.
I would not call that a gargoyle. I'd call that a griffin.
Toujours pure. I wonder if all the elite wizarding families have a motto. Revelio.
Fun fact, that was originally Gryffindor's hat. And the portraits are definitely a lot more crammed in the 1990s. Okay, now where is Fitzgerald's portrait?
It's good to see you.
All thanks to Professor Fig's quick thinking. Now what?
Approach the pedestal in the antechamber and read the book that appears.
What can I expect to find in the book?
A story. I cannot say more. You may recognize some elements of it, as I was inspired by a tale with which many wizarding children are familiar.
I suspect there will be more to this than reading a book.
Your suspicions are correct. We shall speak when you are finished.
Has this been under the headmaster's nose all this time? Revelio. That must be the pedestal.
Okay, now I know this quest quite well, and it is kind of fun. There's also a lot of conversations that you need to listen to. Well, I like to listen to. So I'm probably going to be muted for a good chunk of this. So I will mute where I deem it appropriate. How are my collections doing? I haven't found a new wand handle that I like yet. You're not even spelling them right. Okay, let's do this trial.
Where am I? Professor Fitzgerald, can you hear me?
I am here. In this place, you may call me Neve. You shall be witness to a fable. Pay attention. Things are not always as they seem. You must move swiftly and cautiously. Use the tools you encounter to find me. The first you will need is a cloak.
Thankfully, the first bit we don't need to worry about.
In this place, as in life, death takes many forms. Avoid each of them at all costs.
Besides when Professor Fitzgerald talks. You gotta admit, this is definitely a unique art style for this part of the game.
I should have run when I could. I'd be free by now.
This is my chance. I'm coming, Neve. I need to time this just right. I see. A staircase straight ahead.
Where? Definitely not an art style you see in video games. Especially not very often, and not in a modern day one. How could this happen? Okay, at least someone chose a good spot to hide. Hope you'll be okay there, Missy.
A ladder. Perhaps they won't be able to find me if I go up there.
Move! Come on, let me move.
Best move while I can. Neve must be here somewhere. Too many. I must cross this road as fast as I can.
Yeah, but we also need to time it right.
That's where I need to go. But I need to find a way past them.
I hate it when that happens. And my hands are getting so sweaty. Come on, Ariel, you got this.
They're gone. For now. I need to get out of here. Where could Neve be? Too many. I must cross this road as fast as I can. That's where I need to go. But I need to find a way past them.
Come on. That's it. I think she read Tales of Beetle the Bard way too much. Yeah, hello, Skello.
Nothing this way but more danger. There must be another way to find you. I need to turn back. There's no getting past them that way.
That works!
Closed tight. No way but forward, I suppose.
needle. Bollocks. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. Move! That's not
Now's
quite
my chance.
where I wanted you to go, though. Move, 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 move. The Cloak of Invisibility. She got inspired by the tales of the three brothers in The Beadle the Bard, which is a physical book I actually have a copy of.
Can this be? I think I'm invisible.
Invisible does not stop one from being solid.
They can't see me at all. I can get closer to them. This is the way forward. Finally free. Now, where are you, Neve?
Part 2?
You have outrun death thus far, but have yet to find me. Keep searching, but this time you will be unable to hide. Wield the wand you see before you. Do not squander its extraordinary power.
The Elder Wand, which goes by quite a few other names.
I've never felt such power.
Oh, come on, you could at least give us better spells. Of all the spells you had to give us, it had to be those ones. Ugh! Well, that made an opening. At least now we can fight. If only the first two trials were like this. This is actually one where you're learning. Okay, the others is just get to the end, okay, and survive. Okay, the last two, you actually learn. It's something that can judge your personality, which I like. And can I please change these spells? They suck. Okay, I never use Descendo. Okay. I know there's a part that I tend to get my butt kicked at. Can I cut through that with the Gryffindor or not? Nope, gotta fight our way through? Maybe? Yep. Well, that gets rid of two of them. Oh no, I know this courtyard. This is where I tend to get my butt kicked. Seriously? Alright. I can only target one of you at a time. Keep away from me. Okay. I know there's more, I know there's more, I know there's more. Okay, so maybe this isn't quite the courtyard, but I know it's a courtyard.
Revelio.
This is the courtyard. Ugh. I hate this courtyard. Okay, let's see how long this fight takes me. Where's Death? He normally shows up. There he is. And say hello to why I don't like this. What is it? And trolls! I'm used to having Confringo there. on, Ariel, you got this. If I remember correctly, he now summons 2 trolls. Yeah, I was right. And a load of other enemies to keep us busy. I've definitely had worse luck on that.
Revelio.
Okay, the next one is where I like to listen to what people are saying. So I'm going to mute.
This must be for me.
The Resurrection Stone can give you a connection to the spirit world, but can't truly bring them back.
You're far from finished. Pass through the mourners ahead. Nothing is what it seems.
She's gone. Neve's dead. I can't believe she's dead.
Dear, sweet Neve. Dead. Oh, poor Neve.
Let us always honor her memory. Neve.
May her memory be a treasure to us forever. We won't be the same without her.
You found me, but you cannot undo what has been done. The magic of the stone can only conjure a shadow of my former self. But there is no light without shadow, as there is no shadow without light. Simply because you can eliminate darkness does not always mean that you should. Remember that as you witness my memory.
Isadora, what you did for your father was remarkable.
Well, wasn't it? And Percival needn't worry about the strands of emotion or the traces that this magic leaves. I found a way to contain all of it.
You haven't stopped.
Goblin Silver.
You spoke to a goblin about this.
Don't worry, he has no idea what we're containing.
We don't know what effect any of this may have. The emotions, the dark traits.
You sound like Percival. And as it happens, I do know. It is a source of strength, of focus. Somehow it enhances my ability to wield magic.
I don't follow, Isadora.
I think we can harness it.
Power like this is not to be toyed with. In the wrong hands,
You saw what I did for my father. Oh, Neve, imagine the good we could do. Everyone is in some kind of pain.
What are you doing?
Breathe it in. Can you feel it?
Oh, Isadora. This must stop. All of it.
You've kept this power to yourselves for so long because you fear it. I choose to embrace it.
Revelio.
There's a difference between fearing the magic and respecting that it's 1, rare, 2, powerful, and 3, you don't understand every bit of it.
Is it true? Has someone completed the first 3 trials?
It is, and I have.
But you are so...
Young. I know. You must be Professor Bakar.
I am.
Pleased to meet you. The pensive memory I just witnessed. Was Isadora inhaling painful emotions?
She was.
I found it disturbing. But how did she gain power from it? How did she harness it?
It was disturbing. Although, I wonder that you are asking about her power. I hesitate to reveal the location of my pensive to someone who, perhaps, has yet to understand the responsibility of power.
I can assure you, Professor, I do. In fact, what you don't yet know is that a dangerous goblin called Ranrock has accessed the repository at Rookwood Castle. He has learned to harness the contents of it as a source of immense power. He plans to use that power against wizard kind. We have no time to waste.
I see. Nonetheless, the knowledge you shall gain after you witness my memories is too valuable to share without further consideration. I shall require time to confer with the other keepers.
It seems we have no choice but to wait, frustrating as it is. I heard what you told Professor Bakar. Isadora was inhaling emotions to gain power?
She was, and she pulled emotions, as she did from her father, from Professor Fitzgerald, without permission.
Monstrous.
What's more, she said that she found a way to store the traces of magic she extracted in goblin silver.
The repositories?
Possibly. There's something I didn't get a chance to tell you earlier. Ranrock has been digging at locations tied to the 5 names he found in the journals of a goblin metalworker named Bragbor.
5 names? The Keepers, and who else? Isadora Morganac?
Precisely. That's how he's been one step ahead of us. Gringotts, the Tower, Rookwood Castle.
If the Keepers won't tell you where the next trial is yet, I say we at least maintain a watch on Ranrock. Perhaps he'll lead us to more information.
Perhaps. I hope to hear from Lodgok soon. I haven't heard anything since I learned of the drills. Oh, and as you've probably guessed by now, your Polyjuice plan worked like a charm.
I knew it would. I may have done too good a job distracting Black. I had no idea he can't hold his fire whiskey.
I shouldn't have reacted so bitterly about your goblin friend. I apologize. I hope we can finish what we started with the triptych. Please meet me at the southern coast. We can search for the final canvas piece.
I'm pretty sure I know what that message from Professor Weasley contained. I'm going to show it to you anyway. Where is she? Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it here for today. I'm going to do some off-screen stuff, more clearing of the map and such, and I will meet you back in the Gryffindor common room. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!